क्या फायदा, कभी गिरते हुए को उठाया नहीं, हाथ आंसू बहाने से क्या फायदा।
Thank you very much.
Kemana kamu? Sedia.
Yeah, Drew.
Yeah, it was good.
No, and it is on the next side. It is on the next side.
So friends, this morning on behalf of members of the bereaved family, we'd like to say welcome and thank you all very much for being with us and joining with us in this ceremony this morning. That is something that is never easy for us to deal with. It's always a difficult time. Sometimes we may tell ourselves that, we would have that he would have lived a full life, and all the things that we say, Bhagavad Gita will tell us to grieve not for the soul is immortal, it is everlasting. And while we read all this philosophy from Bhagavad Gita, yet when we lose someone whom we would have grown to love over the years, it's always a difficult time for us, because we'd have created mamata, attachment. Let's be practical. Who will not grieve over the loss of our father, or our mother, or our brother, or our sister? At the end of the day, we'd all have to go through this. And for this reason, Kabir Das says, Aaye hai so jayenge Raja Rang ka Fakir, which simply translates into saying that whoever would have come into this world will have to leave one day. Whether we are kings or we are beggars, we will all have to leave this earth one day. And when that happens, we prepare ourselves, the family members, the sons, granddaughters and nephews, etc. We'd prepare ourselves to perform that which we call Anteshti Sanskar. Anteshti Sanskar is really the last rites of the departed loved one. And it begins with the funeral service today. So as we prepare to begin the Anteshti Sanskar today, let me ask everyone to stand for a few moments. And I urge you to bow your heads and put your hands together, close your eyes and say a prayer in your own words, asking God to bless Maharaj. His soul is among us here now, and I am sure that it's not in any sad, grieving kind of way, but I am sure he's among us and he is very much happy to be here and to see all of his family and friends and everyone joining and participating in this ceremony. So I urge you to say a prayer and ask Bhagwan to bless him, so that his soul will attain all the offerings that we are making in his name from this point until the point of Bandara. Om sarve kutumbha shukaturanam rudhodayam mrityu vinega karane bhaktam hitam tapaharantu devaha pretasya moksha kurvantu shighram. हे दयालु परमात्मा, हम सब जो इस मृतात्मा का कुटुंब है, हम शोक से व्याकुल हो रहे हैं। हे देव, आप भक्तों के ताप को करण वारे हैं, आप इस आत्मा को शीघ्र मुक्ति दीजिए भगवान. Lord, a great loss has been sustained by the death of this dear person, and the family cries to you for comfort. Lord, thou art always ready to remove the pain of thy devotees, and Lord, we beg that you grant salvation to the departed soul. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bolo Binravan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So you can all be seated. There are 16 sanskars that every Hindu should pass through throughout the period of his life. It begins with birth and it ends with death. A sanskar can best be defined as every important aspect of our lives. We remember bringing our child into this world as a sanskar, Namkaran sanskar, pronouncing the name for the first time, feeding grains, cutting hair, piercing hair. You all know well as Hindus we pay great importance to those things. They are called sanskars. There are 16 of them. The final sanskar is Anteshti sanskar. You know, I always like to remind people that every sanskar does take one day to be completed. Vivaha sanskar, the marriage ceremonies, take 3 days. You know how long Anteshti sanskar does take? 1 year. And that's to show the significance or the importance really of Anteshti sanskar. Members of this family, they are about to begin the Anteshti sanskar of their beloved father, grandfather, uncle, etc. And so they would now prepare themselves for that ceremony. In preparation beforehand, they would have had a bath and wearing clean white clothes which represents purity. The ceremony begins with the purification rites of firstly washing the hands to purify them. Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvasthangato va yah smrit pundarikaksham sabaha bhayam tarasuchi. There is a difference really between the traditional things we do in a funeral service as compared to that which we should do, as it is written in Garud Puran. This funeral service, I let you know from now, will not have any of those traditional things that people would have been used to doing. Take for example, taking the hand of the departed and having to remove the sindoor from the Dulahin's head. That is absolutely absurd. That does not make sense. Arati does not make sense. And we could go on and on with that list. And I'll explain as we go along why we should not do certain things in Sanatan Dharma. So the mantra, as we chant, while the Shrotas, sons, granddaughters, etc., washing hands, is saying, Om apavitra pavitro va sarvasthangato piva. The word apavitra means impure. The word pavitra means pure. So we are saying in that mantra, Om apavitra pavitro va. Lord, may you move me from a state of impurity and may you bring me to a state of purity. How can we achieve this? The mantra says Yahasmrit, and in Sanskrit, Yahasmrit means bringing to mind Pundarikaksha, which is a form of Lord Vishnu. May my hands be pure enough to make offerings in the name of the departed, O my beloved father, grandfather, uncle, as the case might be. And so having chanted that mantra and washed hands, we now sip water 3 times for inner purification. Om Achyutaye Namaha, Om Keshavaye Namaha, Om Madhavaye Namaha. Bhagavad Puran says that any person who can sip water 3 times and recite the blessed names of Lord Krishna, 3 important names of Lord Krishna, namely Achyuta, Keshava or Madhava, then what we do, we purify ourselves internally to ensure that the mind will become stable, so that the mind will focus on the task at hand, which is really Anteshti Sanskar. So may my mind not waver, may it not think of anything else, and may it stay focused on what I am about to do. Having done so, we now rinse the hands, because one would not want to offer, as we would say, with our juta hand. Om Govindaye Namo Namaha Iti Hastang Prakshalyam. Of course, the name of Bhagwan Krishna is recited while the hands is being rinsed again for purification purposes. Now, as we continue along with our ceremony, a ring called a painti that is made with kush grass will be placed upon the index finger of the right hand. Om Kuse Brahma Kuse Vishnu Kuse Deva Maheshwaram Angara Agre Tapur Buddhi Syat Smyat Mule Nadharyam. This ring is made of kush grass, and again the mantra is saying Kuse Brahma Kuse Vishnu Kuse Deva Maheshwaram. You all know what that means? That within the kush grass lies the embodiments of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Lord Brahma is the creator of this universe. Lord Vishnu is the sustainer of this universe. Bhagwan Shiva is the dissolver. So as kush grass is touching the skin, we say, Lord, as the creator of this universe, as Lord Brahma, may you create only positive things in my mind. As I perform this ceremony, may Bhagwan Vishnu sustain my mind with that kind of positivity. May Bhagwan Shiva, who is termed as being the destroyer, may he destroy all the negative things from my mind while I continue to perform Anteshti Sanskar. You have 10 fingers in your hand. Why the index finger of the right hand? Because presiding over every part of the human body, there is a particular Devta or Devi. The Lord who sits on the index finger of the right hand represents moksha or liberation. So the intent is that while the ring is touching there and we are making offerings in the name of the departed, Lord, may moksha be gifted to my beloved father. Right? And so having prepared yourself for this ceremony, we now begin the ceremony. It begins by sprinkling water upon the body that is made up of 5 elements, and it is now lying before us here today. Here like this. Om Ganga Jalaya Brahmanan Mandalokaya Shisha Darsha Naga Pavani Sarva Papatma Sudhviya Mrita Shira. So if we're following along this ceremony, we realize that firstly, the Shrotas would have prepared themselves, and having done so, water is now being sprinkled upon the body, and our mantra is being chanted. The mantra is saying, and I like to always break down the mantra so that we'll understand what we are doing. The mantra is saying, Om Ganga Jalaya Brahmanan Mandalokaya Shisha Darsha Naga Pavani. So, Lord, this water may not be Ganga Jal. And one can easily say, well, Pandit, you know, we could go in the puja store and buy Ganga Jal. But I gotta tell you something. I could buy a set of small bottles like this, go in the pipe and fill it with water and label it Ganga Jal and sell it. That could happen. And this day and age of Kali Yuga, anything could happen. Even in prayer, people is outsmart here. So, the mantra is saying, although it may not be Ganga Jal, maybe or may not be, may it assume Ganga-like qualities. What is the quality of Ganga? We all know that everybody who go to India, we always want to go and have a dip in Ganga. It doesn't matter how cold the water is or whatever the case may be. We all want to go to Ganga. Why? Because some of us hear from we parents that Ganga does wash away we sin. And all kind of thing we hear. But really and truly, for those of us who are really devoted to God and who would have understood our scriptures, would realize that the source of Ganga is really the washings of the feet of Lord Vishnu. And time doesn't permit me to explain that to you really, but just understand that Ganga Mata emanates from the toenails or the washings of the feet of Lord Vishnu. And that is why Ganga is so sacred in Sanatana Dharma. We say, Lord, as we sprinkle the water upon the body this morning, Lord, may this water assume Ganga-like qualities. May it purify the physical body that is now lying before us here. Om Ganga Jalaya Brahmanan Mandalokaya Shisha Darsha Naga Pavani Sarva Papatma Sudhvi Amrita Shira Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki. And so continuing that process of purification, we would offer 5 pieces of tulsi leaves with a piece of gold on various parts of the body. We all know well that Tulsi Mata carries the ability to purify or to make pure as well. And for that reason, Tulsi leaves are offered in all prasad that we offer to Bhagavan, with the exception of Lord Ganesh. And so in this ceremony this morning, the body is being prepped to be rested upon the lap of Agni Devta, who's the god of fire, in a short while. So therefore we purify the body. Om Anadhino Dhana Vishnu Shankha Chakra Gadadharam Apado Pundari Kakshaha Preto Gati Samudra Bhava Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. हे पार ब्रह्म परमात्मा, आप आदि और अंत से हीन है। हे प्रभु, आप शंख चक्र गदा और पद्म को धारण करने वाले हैं। हे अविनाशी, हे कमल लोचन, आप कृपा करके इस मृतात्मा को मोक्ष दीजिए भगवान। O Lord, you are without beginning and without end. Lord, you are the bearer of the shell, the disc, the club, and the lotus flower. Lord, we pray and we beg that you grant salvation to the departed soul. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I know that you all may have things to discuss, right? But what I'd like to say this morning, as a mark of respect, can we please be a little silent? There is no microphone now for I to be talking. So I think it's fair for me to ask. This ceremony will not take more than half an hour. So I beg you to have respect, if not for me, for Mr. Maharaj. And please be silent. Please be silent. I am begging you. Respect is something that you should have, you know. And I do apologize for saying that, because we should have that kind of respect. We are here for a reason. And I can't be braying at the top of my voice and you talking at the same time. If you want to talk, outside is fine. I make no apologies for saying what I am saying. As a Sanatanist Hindu, we must learn to have respect. Thank you all very much. Bolo Bindravan, Bihari Lal Laki. So as we continue along with the ceremony, having offered the various tulsi leaves on parts of the body for that purification purpose, we now offer gand. Gand simply means fragrance. And this is not as a result of when we do puja at our homes, where we wash the feet of manpa and we put chandan and flowers and arati and thing. This is, don't be confused. Gand here is offered to eliminate odor. When you die, let's be realistic, the body don't smell nice. If you stay in a room too long with a corpse, you're going to get sick. Because what will emanate from that body is nothing nice. And so we spray gand to eliminate fragrance. Because you should put perfume and chandan and flowers and mala and do arati for your mother and father and bow to them when? When they're alive. Mr. Maharaj can't get up and bless nobody now. You see, every time the family have puja, Maharaj always right there. And the opportunity to do his arati was always present. Therefore, they don't need to do it now for a corpse. Why? They would have done it enough while he was alive. In every puja and in every prayer it was done. I urge family members and everybody else who listening to always do it while your parents are alive. Don't wait for them to die to do this. So Gand is offered today with prayer, of course, asking to eliminate the odor, etc. He Para Brahma Paramatma. O Lord, we pray and we ask you to bless the soul that is now lingering around and is present with us, Lord. May all the offerings being made in the Shrad and the funeral service, may he be able to receive them. And so, Lord, may it bring comfort to the departed soul. Next, Chandan will be offered upon the head, but Chandan is a decorative measure. Again, I say it is not as if we are doing puja. We are honoring and worshipping somebody, because you honor and worship somebody while they are alive. Where does that come from? It is written in Ramayana, Chiti Jalapavaka Gagana Samira Panchara Chita Adhama Sharira. So Chiti Jalapavak Gagan Samira. The human body is made up of 5 elements. But this, when death occurs, Goswami Tulsidas says, Adhama Sharira. It is now a very filthy and low form. And therefore, because the soul does not reside in it any longer. So therefore, what we should do for our beloved parents should be done while they are alive. You know, we have so many things. People say, Baba, how to offer the water? Enter so, and through the middle. How to do it? Do the front one first, and then the back one. Which side? Left or right first? And we figuring out all that. But you know, the amazing thing is when Papa alive and lie down in the bed, nobody had given him a cup of water, he thirsty. But when he die, all of we want to know which direction to offer the water. And like hypocrisy. Mama alive, she got a piece of roti to eat. But when she die, big confusion, you know. Baba enters 21 to carry, we supposed to cook. What the man gonna do with 21 to carry after he's no longer there? Food is not the issue, and we have to understand those things in Sanatan Dharma. So having offered Chandan, we now offer pindas, 6 pindas to be offered from here until the point of cremation. Who is he now? Not sure. What's his Rasi name again? I know it and I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. I don't know it. I can't remember. This one.
Seudath Maharaj is correct, isn't it?
Ramkaran is the Rasi name. Yeah. I said check it. Ipatra. Ramkaran. Yeah. You know. I know. Yeah. I said check Ipatra. Ramkaran. Right? So keep that name in your mind. Right, everybody touch. Om Adhya Mukha Gotrasya Piturmukharam Karannam Bhumi Trishthyaratam Mritak Sthane Vashunam Esha Pindaste Maya Diyate Tavo Patishtitam Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. You gotta remember that, in case I forget. Next one. Om Adhya Mukha Gotrasya Piturmukharam Karannam Duta Trishthyaratam Grihavastradi Devata Trishthyaratam Cha Dvadashe Panthnam Esha Pindaste Maya Diyate Tavo Patishtitam Om Adhya Mukha Gotrasya Piturmukharam Karannam Bhuta Koti Palanchakamaha Papairakhay Charanam Esha Pindaste Maya Diyate Tavo Patishtitam Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Om Adhya Mukha Gotrasya Piturmukharam Karannam Preta Vishram Kale Pisachadi Avityaratam Kamah Vishram Bhutanam Esha Pindaste Maya Diyate Tavo Patishtitam Shri Aryama Pitra Bhagavani Ki Jai. Shri Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Alright, so as we continue along with our ceremony, now we'll offer malas. Okay. The garland is traditionally broken and offered, and it is symbolic of saying that every tie that we may have in the world today does not exist anymore. Na matu, na pitu, na bandhu, na data. Those whom we will have chose to call mother and father and brother, sister, husband, wife, every relation upon this earth is but temporary. Yeah, often. Om Hiranyagarbha Purushabdya Bhaktya Swarupine Asya Pretasya Mokshato Suprito Bhava Sarvada. हे सबके आदि कारण प्रभु, हे साकार और निराकार स्वरूप वाले देव, आप कृपा करके इस मृतात्मा को मोक्ष दीजिए भगवान. Lord, you are the originator of this universe, and Lord, you dwell in both your manifest and unmanifest state. Be gracious, O Lord, and grant salvation to the departed soul. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Narayanaya Surasreshta Lakshmi Kanta Varaprada Anena Tarapaninata Preta Moksha Prado Bhava. Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. हे नारायण, आप देवों की देव हो. हे लक्ष्मीपति, आप सब कुछ देने वाले हो. हे प्रभु, इस प्रेत के कल्याण के लिए हम प्रार्थना करते हैं, इसको मुक्ति दीजिए भगवान. ओ नारायण, you are the God of all gods, O consort of Lakshmi, you are the bester of boons. Lord, may our supplication bring salvation to the departed soul. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bolo Bindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So now I'd like to invite family members and loved ones, all those who want to offer a mala or a flower can feel free to come up and do so now. Now let me ask at the same time, is there anyone who would like to join us in our little bhajan? Any volunteers to do a bhajan while we are doing this? Well, since we have no volunteers, I've seen Pandit Dhani Ram. So let me ask him to come and sing a little bhajan while we so your throat just like mine right now. Me too, me too. Yeah. So let's all join together, everybody. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan. Bolo Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasu. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari हे नाथ श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा राधे कृष्णा
राधे कृष्णा हरे राम
रे रामा
राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण ऐसा बात समझ ना कृष्ण Jai Krishna Hare. So you can all turn to your pamphlets. Let's all join in singing Jai Krishna Hare.
Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare,
Dukhiyo
ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jab char taraf andhiyara
आशा का दूर किनारा हो
और कोई लगे मन हो फिर तो ही मेरा हाथ करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे
जय कृष्ण हरे
श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे तू चाहे तू सब कुछ करे विष को कर ले पूरन कर ले सबकी आशा जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
Sing anything else.
श्री राधे गोविंदा मन बजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
जय नंदलाला जय गोपाला पाला श्री राधे गोविंदा मन बजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है।
Who do you know? Who do you know?
Me and my daughter.
What's your name? What's your name?
Aliyah. So me and so Tyron and Aliyah.
Okay. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai.
Jai.
At this point, I'd like to introduce both Tyra and Aliyah, who would be doing the eulogy for us at this point. Yeah, you should. Yeah, take your time and wish right then. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Syapati Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo. Govinda Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo. Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo. Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo. Radha Raman Hari Govinda bolo. Radha Raman Hari Govinda bolo. Radha Raman Hari Govinda bolo. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. I urge you all to be a little silent. There is no sound system and thing for us, so you have to pay attention to listen to this part of the program, okay?
Thank you, Pandit. Friends, family, if you can hear me, raise your hand, please. If you can't, raise your hand. Not hearing me? Okay. I'll try to carry my voice as best I can under the circumstances. Seudath, Mr. Maharaj, Det, Siu, Kaka, Small or Lil Mamu are some of the names by which he was fondly referred. Work supervisor in the Ministry of Works, 30 years. Always willing to help someone get a job. Cricket umpire, football referee, sports administrator. Some people may not know that about him. Some of his jobs and roles through his lifetime. But there was one name, role, job, which I believe he loved, cherished above all. That job, role, was that of Aja. A role he was born to play. I would never be able to properly describe how well he played that role. I will allow Aliyah to do her best when I'm done. If I may reflect a bit, I remember Sundays during cricket season, he, as the umpire, my brother Terence, the scorer, Rajan, late Rajan, or Fishy, the team's best player, Rovin, aka Flash, as some people describe him, right? The barrier, couldn't get it past him. He was the wicketkeeper. Anand, Bloody, also wicketkeeper. Heading to play after collecting food right here. Also him refereeing 7-a-side football games on Avocat ground. Countless family gatherings. Trips to Anja Soja's house in Tamana. All packed in Uncle Taz Volkswagen. 10 of us. I still don't know how 10 of us got into that car. But, I mean, we were small, but still, 10 of us. Visits to Shumentanti. When visits to Shumentanti meant food. All kind of food. All kind of sweets. When you finish the belly bus. All this around 30 years of working for the Ministry of Works. So throughout his life, he liked to tell stories. He liked to give you little anecdotes about his time and the things he went through throughout his life. Now, this is one of those stories I would like to relate here. Now, this happened before my time. It probably happened in Savitry's time, I don't know. It definitely happened in Tantigola's time. How true it is, I don't know. He related it. So please, take it with a grain of salt. Although we ain't supposed to be eating salt right now, Pandit. A story the story is told by him was when he was a teenager, and he was a bit of a rebel apparently when he was a teenager. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And one of his vices was smoking cigarette, and apparently mother and father weren't in agreement with that. So he still had to hide to smoke his cigarette. And the story goes that Avocado Junction one night, he pulled out a cigarette to smoke. Now back in them days, Avocado Junction, the lighting and so on, the street lighting wasn't so good. So you ain't really seeing too good who's standing in the area and so on. And the story was, he pulled out the cigarette to smoke, and he asked the person next to him for a light. And the person next to him who he asked for a light was the father. After that, when he realized the father, his sanctuary away from home was Auntie Jasodra's house in Tamana. And apparently, head up there, several weeks later, he came back home. That is the story as I know it. How true it is, I'm just relating as how I got it from him. Right? I'll pass on to Aliyah now. You want to stand there?
Be easier if
You go ahead.
okay. Not sure if I'll be able to read this loud enough for everyone to hear me, but I'll try my best. So, when I think about him, what I think about first is how much time he spent driving me and Alyssa, my sister, and Justin to school. And I still hear the radio playing in his car. It was 106.5 FM every single day with the ads for Island Finance and the Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company. I still hear them playing in my head all the time. And I remember that he was, every single day, he was early when he would pick me up from school. But it wasn't just about when he came for me at school. Whatever any of the grandchildren wanted or needed, or if we needed to go somewhere, no matter what drop of a hat, he was ready. He would help. And I still hear him in my head telling me how proud of me he is. He would do that whenever I did anything at any time. Whenever I passed a test when I was in school, or whenever I finished my food, or no matter what I did, even if I just told him I was having a good day, he would start celebrating. But it was never because of what I did. I could tell it was because of me. He would always celebrate me. And to this day, I always think I've never seen anybody look as excited as he always looked whenever he saw me. And the things he would say, these stories he would tell, we still talk about them all the time. We all do, because of how funny they are. Because a lot of the times we don't even care if the stories actually happened the way he said, because they're too funny for anybody to care. And I know that everybody who's here remembers their own times with him. And I'm sure that we all know that feeling of just by being around him, your whole day, your whole life really gets more interesting. But I know that beyond that, the thing that I feel the most is how much love he would give without having to ever say anything at all. I would always feel that whenever he was around, I would feel loved and I would feel safe. And today, I am trying my best to hold on to that feeling, because to me it's the most important thing. And that's how I want to remember him. Thank you.
At this point, we invite Pandit Surendra Bhania.
Panditji, members of the family, friends, my relationship with death, as I always knew him, as I always said to him, as I always called him, except in my later years it was Mr. Maharaj. But for maybe 50 years of my life, it was death. I knew him first as an umpire when I was just about 15 and a half or so. And I learned over the years that when you go to a ground, you go to play cricket and you see death there, you are sure to get an umpire and you are sure to get a gentleman that you could rely on. I knew him then as a referee, and I learned a lot about refereeing from him. And then thirdly, as a sports administrator, we were on Fyzabad Cricket League together. We served there for many years. I remember we even had meetings home at his place. And then fourthly, I knew him when I was principal of Avocat Vedic School. I knew him as a devoted grandfather. One would have thought it was a father to Alyssa. And then, well, for 7 years I was there with Alyssa, and maybe 2 years with Aliyah, 2 years or so. And the devotion he showed to them, you know, he would come and wait by the parlor there from around 1:30. And Aliyah will be dismissed at 2:30, but rest assured he was going to be there from 1:30 he would be there waiting for them. And I always wanted to learn from him. So I would leave the school and go and sit with him by the parlor and get his knowledge, right? Because he was one of the few people who will talk sense and would not talk about people, right? He was one of the few people I know will not talk about people. Think about that. Yeah. And it was then he became Mr. Maharaj for me. Even after I retired, after the girls had left school and he would see me on the road, he would let go the steering wheel and put his hands together. And you know, I would quickly return that so he could get back to holding the steering. Today, we have lost someone of metal from this community. Someone whom I know everybody in the community would have respected, right? And on behalf of my family, on behalf of all of us in the cricketing fraternity in particular and other sporting areas, I wish you all our sympathy. Thank you, Panditji.
Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So we'd like to at this point introduce Mr. Dev Misr. Huh? Budev Misr.
Yeah. Yeah.
As they say, all protocols observed, Pandit.
Yeah.
I joined this family in marriage, right? So in those days, we used to come together up the road for every occasion. And I see a name here, son of Pulmania Maharaj. But I didn't know that name. We used to call her Ma. But whenever we got together, she would be looking around. I ain't see Seudath yet. I ain't see Seudath yet. And a little while after that, my mother-in-law will say, Bude, you see Seudath? Go and tell him, call Jean. Make sure Jean come. And then I have to go outside and find out who is Seudath. So I will ask one of the boys, who is Seudath? Mama looking for Seudath. And they tell me, look, that day. So now I have to go and talk to Death and ask Death, who is Seudath? Right? When you call Jean to auntie, she say, boy, Seudath was here just now, and you know where he gone. So it took me a while to learn who Seudath was. When Radhika introduced me to her uncle, she said, this is my kaka. Remember, I said kaka, not that word all you're thinking about, right? So when I find out kaka and Death, I had to put a handle to his name. So he became Kaka Death. Never Seudath. This is new to me, Seudath. Anyway, we have a few things in common. What I wanted to say, it was already repeated. It was already stated. So if I repeat some of the things, forgive me. One of the things I learned about Kaka was whenever you ask for his advice, he was always willing and he made himself available to listen to you and to give you the best advice he could. That was the man I knew as Kaka Death. Today they say he was an umpire, but he got clean bowl now. No more umpiring again. And what I learned about him, he loved the movies. So we had one thing in common, Western movies. One of his favorite was Death Rides a Horse. Today, Death riding no horse, he riding a hearse. I don't know if the past tense of horse is hearse. But from here, he going, not into the sunset, as they say, to the blazing sunset, but the blazing fires of the creek. Anyway, he was a very nice person to be. He was a nice father, as we could have seen in the last days with his children. They did all they could for him, and you could only do that if your father was good. So in our religion, we learn Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava. The mother and the father should always be revered, and no pun intended, but down to his last breath, the children were there because Terence had to give him resuscitation. All I can say now is that let's go. Final rites performed, and you were good to me and good to everybody that I've heard speak about him. And that's what I got to say. Thank you.
Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Is there anyone else who would like to say a few words? Okay, so we have a few flowers remaining. If you did not have an opportunity and you would want to offer a flower, you can feel free to do so now. Right, here, man, get them the little photo of the rest. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Syapati Ramachandra Bhagavan Ki. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasu Shri Krishna Govinda Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasu Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan He Nath Narayan Vasu Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai Har Har Mahadeva Ki Jai. Every single thing in this universe is temporary. The home that we live in is temporary. The car that we drive is temporary. The money that we have in the bank account is temporary. Even our parents and our children and our family members, every single thing in this world is temporary. Why? For there will come a time when, just as we are here to bid farewell to Mr. Maharaj, it will be doing the same for us at some point in time. Because this human body itself is temporary. It is said, na matu, na pitu, na bandhu, na data. Which means, before birth, who was your mother? Before birth, who was your father? Who was your friend? Brother, sister. Every relation in this earth came upon birth. Coming into this world means that we must come from our mother. We must have our father. And sometimes brothers and sisters, etc. So birth in itself is what binds us to this physical world in which we live in. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Birth binds us to this physical earth in which we live upon. Death liberates us from the physical world that we live in. You all follow? Birth will bind us onto this earth, but death will certainly liberate us. So death is not the enemy that it is really made out to be. People sometimes tend to think, well, when you die, is it we done, and we pressure, and we cry, and we... But no, really and truly, liberation occurs when we die. We are now freed from the physical bondage that we may have that is called this human body. There are many different situations where the human body itself is always capable of sustaining the soul. But there are some instances when the human body is unable to sustain the soul. And it brings grief and pain at that point in time. When we see people lying on our beds suffering for years and years and years. What we do for our friends and our loved ones while they are alive, there's so much. I know members of this family would have gone all out for Maharaj. I am sure. Because being the family pundit for a while, I know what they would have gone through. And knowing the man too well, I mean, I had to tell all that. Everybody know him, right? And no nonsense man all the time. Dr. Praise too, he's a no nonsense man. He had taken crap from nobody. Don't make him do things that not necessary. And that's the kind of person he always was. So while he was alive, we could have done so much things for him. Squeeze his foot, give him a cup of water, give him his medication. He might quarrel and I want to eat this or I want to eat that, but you had to try to force him. I your father or use my father? What are you trying to give me to eat there? Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I know the man. I know him real good. So we do so much for him while he is alive, while his soul resided within the body. But when the soul leaves the body, what we can do at this point in time is do the needful to sustain the soul in the hereafter until the period of 1 year. Why 1 year? Because the soul, if not merged and become one with God, it takes a period of 1 year to reincarnate on this earth. If the soul does not merge and become one with God because of karmic actions then. If our karma was so good and Atma merges into Paramatma, then we don't need to do no Bandara, no Shrad, no nothing. We are here. We don't have to do anything. But if that does not occur, then Bandara and Shrad and all the things that we do becomes a necessity to assist the soul in its stay in this realm and the realm hereafter. So everything we do from tomorrow will be done for Maharaj in his, in his spirit form, then, for it that way. Because life is when the soul enters into the body, death is when the soul leaves the body. And so now, from tomorrow, everything that we'll be doing is to help sustain the soul during its stay on this realm. So what are we doing today? Anybody? What are we doing today? We're doing our funeral. What is our funeral, I ask you? As a Sanatanist Hindu, let me ask you. What is our funeral? Is it, well, the man he like to drink puncheon, so we go put half our puncheon in the box. Is it that Maharaj he like to smoke cigarettes, so we go put Paka Domori in the box? This was the favorite hat, so we go put it in the box and the carrot go. Huh? Is that what our funeral is? No. Is it that we should do arati and bow? Nah, that is not what our funeral is. All those things are things that we should do while he was alive. Now, lying before us, Chiti, Jala, Pavak, Gagana, Samira, 5 elements which was used to create the human body is now lying before us. It is said, Bare Bhagya Mano Shitana Pava. You know what that means? Among all the creatures created on this earth, the human form is the highest form, the greatest form. Some people say we are created in God's image and likeness. And that is why the human body is so powerful. It is so great. So, Bare Bhagya Mano Shitana Pava. But Tulsidas says, Panch Rachata Adham Sharira. You know what Adham Sharira means? This low, this filthy, this dirty human body. That means, as long as the soul resides within the body, it is Bare Bhagya Manushita. It is the greatest form. It is worthy of adoration. So you do arati for mama and papa while they are alive. You put chandan on their head, you do arati. You give them food, you give them water, you take care of them while they are alive. When the soul leaves the body becomes Adham Sharira. It is filthy and dirty. It is just a physical form lying there with 5 elements. It is absolutely absurd to now want to do arati and bow. Everything we do at this point is to allow the 5 elements that were used to create the human body to merge into its original state. And that is the funeral service. The entire funeral service. Going by the creek just now, we'll be making 5 stops. Why do we do that? Is it for style? Or we tired and we're going to take a rest? Each time we stop, we say, Lord of the elements, O Varun Devta, we pay acknowledgement to you. O Vayu Dev, Surya Dev, Chandrama, Dharati Mata. We pay respects to the Devtas who govern over each element before we return the body to its original state, which is the 5 elements. The paya is packed in a particular manner to meet the element of space. The body is not rested on the ground, no, it is suspended high up. It meets the element of space. 1 element. Second element, we light the fire. The element of fire. Third, fire does not function without oxygen. The more air is the more the flame will blaze. Tomorrow morning we will take the ashes and carry it down to the river, the ocean. It meets the element of water. And then the very ashes and bones will be washed into the shore and it meets the element of earth. And that is why we do a cremation in Hinduism. There's no such thing as burial in Hinduism. You have no mantras for burial. None. What we do is our makeshifting and we make up a kind of thing. We walk around and they throw what stone and me and what all kind of crazy thing we do. Nothing in Garud Puran, because burial is not Hinduism. You're not a Hindu if you bury. So if Papa tell you that he want to bury, don't listen to a dead man. Do what you have to do to ensure that Papa will have the correct thing done for him, which is cremation. It is only through cremation can we return the elements to its original state. You all understand that, right? Well, I'll just explain. Only through cremation can we merge the 5 elements of the human body or return them to its original state where it would have come from in the first place. So members of this family would have prepared themselves to actually perform the funeral service today and every day else from tomorrow to prep to ensure that the soul's stay on this realm will be a comfortable one. You know that he's around us now? The soul is around us presently and will continue to linger until the day of Bandara. You know, people tell me that long time, Paul, I used to say, well, they're crazy. How do you mean that going to make sense? But in every home you go to, you hear a story. I used to say mind over matter for people, you know. You hear the man call you, he pull your foot, he this, he that, all kind of thing. I say, man, them people mad, yes. But then after a while you realize that could it be coincidental that every single home will have some kind of experience? Or is there some kind of truth to that? And then when you read Garud Puran, it says that the soul continues to linger around until the point of Bandara. Then it kind of makes sense to me. So today, the actual funeral service is to discard the body, to return the body to the 5 elements which was used to create it to its original state, and indeed to prep ourselves from tomorrow to make offerings in the name of the departed soul that lingers around still. Let me ask everyone to stand at this moment as we put our hands together. Close our eyes for a few minutes. We pray and we ask Bhagavan to shower his choicest and most divine blessings upon the departed soul. May the soul of Maharaj surrounding us here, may it be able to receive the offerings that we are making on a daily basis and indeed the offerings that we are making today. May it bring some form of comfort and happiness to the soul during its stay. And more importantly, Lord, may the soul leave and go on to the world of his ancestors without having any grief for his relations here on earth. Om Gayanidhi cha tirthani ye cha punyaha silochaya Kurukshetre cha Ganga cha Yamunaha cha Sirdradam Kaushakim Chandra Bhagyam cha Sarva Papa Pranashinim Bhadravakansham Suryam Gandhikim Tamasa Tatha Vaishnavam cha Varaham cha Tirtham Pindarakam Tatha Pritibhyayani Tirthani Chaturah Sadharakam Stataha Om Shantihi 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 Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki. Right, so you can all be seated. If you did not have an opportunity to view, you can use that opportunity to do so. Now we'll be leaving for the creek in roughly between 5 and 10 minutes. Jai Sitaram. Cancel if I go when I go home, I'll check my diary to check it first. Yeah,